Hello and welcome to another poorly recorded Animal Crossing New Horizons video. This time I was looking at big updates that Nintendo could potentially roll out to the game. They're not really anything that's going to happen, it's more just I was thinking it would be cool. So the first thing that I thought about was deep sea diving. Now this idea actually came from a Facebook group where we discuss, Animal Crossing New Horizons, like a fan group. But I kind of thought, well, that seems a bit pointless because, you get deep sea fish. But my wife, when I mentioned it to her, said, well, I really like coral and I can't decorate my museum with coral. So that then made me think, well, why can't we customize our museum and decorate it and change it? So it would be cool if we could change the banners on the outside, change the room layout, all this kind of stuff. And we should really have a stargazing area because we've got Celeste and she had an observatory in Wild World. We could have the constellations kind of show up in the sky that we make, and visitors to our island could see them. I think that would be really interesting. But yeah, that doesn't seem to be happening. I've not read the data mining stuff, but she wanders around the island and gives you stuff, but it would be cool to have her have her own little area, and then maybe she could leave the area once a week or something and give you special items. Now, this idea was inspired from Pocket Camp. So if you've played Pocket Camp, you'll be aware that there is a quarry area. You basically walk around with a shovel and smash, 5 rocks or something. You keep jewels and that kind of thing. So you can get like sapphires and emeralds and all that. Now, obviously in New Horizons you can't actually get any of those, but it would be interesting to see them expand the recipes to include jewels. So, you could have the tiaras and crowns and add your own custom jewels, and that would be quite interesting, I think. But building on that, it would be really interesting to see like a cave terraforming option. So we've never had caves in the game. You could even tie this into the previous one, have deep sea caves, because why not, It just seems strange to me that we've got all these games and there's never been any caves in it. And how many Animal Crossing games are there now? There's like 7. Admittedly, 2 of them are like random spin-offs, but like the Amiibo Festival, whatever it was called. But also, I'm not sure if you've heard of this game, but My Time in Portia. So this game is a little bit like Animal Crossing. It's a kind of life sim game. You can, walk around and enjoy the many varieties of pleasant, quiet life, but you can also go into combat and all this kind of thing. And it does take place where you're a builder rather than, just a random citizen who's going all out, unlike all villages, to improve the island. But anyway, I digress. But there's a mine area in that, and it would be cool to see something somewhat similar, but not quite as in depth. I'd really like to see a city area. So I've been trying to get Crazy Red to appear, and he just isn't. So I think I read something about the potential of Brewster being added in at some point. But if they add him as like a random turn up, that can or cannot happen once per week, then that schedule is already really busy. So adding more in is just going to make it even more difficult to fill in the art collection, and it's going to get really frustrating. I think a lot of players are going to get quite annoyed with it. So having a city or a plaza that you could go and visit would kind of negate that issue. You could add the old special characters like Katrina, if you remember her. I can't remember when she was in it. She was on the GameCube one, I think. But she'd tell your fortune, and that would change how your day went, and you could end up tripping up constantly or find rare items throughout the day, that kind of thing. And Dr. Shrunk was in one of the previous games. He taught emotions, and you could change that now to reactions, and that would be pretty cool. But then there's also the options to add more shops in later as well. So you could have like a shop that sells rare, expensive items. So as you progress in the game, you'll find that Nuts Cranny sells one expensive item usually every day. But it would be interesting to see maybe a shop that specialises in just those ridiculously expensive items, or even a shop that sold like the special coloured items from you get from the little Nook booth. I've forgotten what it's called, but you get the dinosaur one and it changes colour depending on your island's airport. So it'd be cool to see something like that, or even a player-to-player auction house. Building on that, it would be interesting to see them have a kind of open area where you could interact with other players. So a bit like the Inkopolis, if you've played Splatoon, they have like a Miiverse thing where you can interact with other players. and adding that social aspect could be really interesting. But also, we all know what the internet's like. So you know, we'd have to be very obvious how to change the settings for who you can chat to. But if you had it with lots of special characters, you know, special NPCs, then you wouldn't necessarily need the player-to-player interaction. It would just be a side kind of thing that would be nice. And even if you just have it with your friends, you know, you can have like up to 5 friends or whatever it is playing at once. That'd be quite sweet to go and have a little coffee, I think. Now, this idea almost definitely won't happen. Basically, it was a tropical island idea. So the idea would be that you meet Captain, takes you on a little boat from the pier maybe, to an island in the opposite hemisphere. The reason this is really, really unlikely to happen is because Nintendo obviously won't be able to use an online service. So it makes more economic sense for them to have you go and make friends with someone on the internet who has a different hemisphere and then pay to go to visit their island. I mean, you can always just time travel or wait, but you know, I think it'd be interesting to do that. And then we could add things like the honey that you lose in Pocket Camp if you use that attracts insects, because you have fish bait but you don't have honey to attract insects, which I thought was, you know, interesting. And finally, I really, really want this. I'm begging you, Nintendo, add turnip fields for the love of God. So at the minute, my island is 5-star rating. Once per week, that star rating will drop, as will my house. So it is impossible to get an S rank house if you're storing turnips. It's impossible to have 5 stars if you've got all your turnips, because it counts as litter. So it would be nice if I could just go visit Daisy May once per week, pay her for X amount of turnips, and little Joan oversees turnip fields, and then when you want to sell them, Daisy May just transports them for you. It would save so much time, it would save so much space. It would put people off doing things like glitching as well, like dupe glitching, which I think got patched out earlier today, but you know, but that would save me such a headache, honestly. I don't even care that much about the star rating, but it just annoys me that once a week it goes down and I have to wait until I can sell my turnips for it to go back up. So please, add turnip fields. And that's all my suggestions, really. Have you got any? Because I'd love to hear them. They're probably better than mine anyway. Thanks. Please consider subscribing and commenting. Bye.